Well, this is the first video of the weekend. I'm on my way back to Ohio right now. I think I got everything done. It's been a pretty productive day, and I'll tell you what, the rain didn't bother me as much as I thought it might today. I was really, really impressed with the horses I saw on the track today, and I know you guys will be when you get to see them too, closer to qualifying. Really impressed. So, I'm going to do my top 10 list. Now, I've got to see everybody. Everybody. Saw under all the hoods I want to see under. Now, there's still things, make no mistake, this is far from, the finished product. The horses will change, some of them, when they see the starting gate, when they get in groups of horses, when they get pushed to the limit, when we start to see where their bottom is and where their top is. Things may change. But as we head into June, and I have seen everybody come a half in 59 seconds, come a quarter in 29 seconds, some come much faster. I've seen a lot of good things. Now, this list was tough. I can't put, there are 10 horses that I couldn't put on the list because Country Dancing and Captain Incredible, who I think are two of our best horses, one is just going easy right now in Ontario because we're trying to get him ready for Lexington. And I will start with that too. Captain Incredible, when we sent him over to Ontario, full vet check. I wanted to make sure everything was all right. I didn't know. I mean, he seemed sound, but seeming sound and staying sound are two different things. Dr. McKee couldn't find any flash points where he'd say, this is a problem, you got to watch this could be a real problem. Nothing was really found on Captain Incredible. He had an ankle that had heat in it, left front when he returned from Florida, and she thought it was just maybe it was bothering him a little bit, and there was some overexertion. Now, that's a loaded word, overexertion, because his training felt well within himself, but his body is so big and he's got such a slick gait. It's easy for a horse like him to gain speed quickly. And when he came back from Florida, I had trained him in 216 at Northfield. He was fine, but I wanted to make sure that we looked under every couch cushion before we started to push on the gas. And Dr. McKee said, listen, there's nothing seriously going on, but a lot going on. He's a big colt. His knees are open, right? His ankles have some heat in them. If you could just go easy for a few weeks. I said, I have no problem going easy for a few weeks. So our plan is to have him ready for Lexington. She said that would be perfect. So I saw him today. Harry was jogging him. We were going to swim him, but he isn't much of a swimmer. So we aborted that plan after 2 days. Just light walking and jogging on the track. And I was actually there when he came in today. His ankles look great. His legs look great. Definitely on the right course with this guy. I'm really, really excited about our year with Captain Incredible. Now, Country Dancing, Tim schooled off the car in 2, 4, and 3, come half, and I don't know what he said he come half in. Maybe I implied it more than that. I implied a pretty decent last half. With her, he said she's very fast, carries her speed a very long time, and is very, very excited to race Country Dancing, as I am, as I'm sure you are. So you can't put those horses on the list because they're not with us, right? It would be unfair for me to put Captain Incredible on the list, yet leave Princess Dream off. This is a horse that trained down immaculately, perfectly from day one. And then unfortunately got cast in her stall, got kicked through the wall and cut her back legs up. Nothing serious. It was all superficial, all cosmetic. And it's all healing up nicely, and she's back jogging now. But she's a month from the races. Easy. So I can't put her on. How do I put Captain Incredible or Country Dancing on? Melisandre, along the same lines, has been one of our nicest fillies. Now, he had intermittent times where she wowed people, so it's hard to make that case. But I've sat behind her enough to know that there's a nice filly in there. But again, just taking our times. You have to understand also, I can see the horses when they're laboring a little bit this time of year. 9 times out of 10, their knees are bothering them. Now, you look at Melisandre, although she's not a big filly, she strikes the ground nice and square, but she is a Chapter 7 by a Chapter 7 son in Chimpanzee. Their knees bother them from time to time, much like the Muscle Masses did. That's why Danny modified the training regimen on Gaslight Hall, and both Gaslight Hall and Resolve Indeed have now started back training and look very, very good. But again, they're not at racing speed yet, so we can't put them on the list. Mountaineer Prince trained him in 2.5 the other day, come half in 59. I am certain That's more than enough to take the lion's share of whatever he needs to do all summer if he trots around those little fair tracks, and I'm certain he will. Nicely. I can't put him on the list before the likes of... I'm not saying any names. I'm not name dropping early on the list. But you guys know I can't put Mountaineer Prince on there, even though he's going to be I believe he's going to be a super productive colt. The only thing that remains to be answered in my mind with him is how good are his competitors. Maybe some other farmers, maybe some other farms out there, maybe some other firms out there, some other trainers have good Michigan breds. I have no idea. Don't count them out. There's bumper crop years everywhere. You always have horses that will jump up from time to time. So we don't know that, right? And as much as I would love to put She Sits at the Bar on there, she's not going to race this year now. She was injured. Now, the good news is they did do a SAA test, so a test for infection, on day 11. This is day 12. And a very, very low number. Much lower than they thought, which is awesome. Under x-ray, Dr. Katie told me that she thought she was surprised that she didn't see a little more arthritis than she did. Very, very minimal amount, which is exciting. These are all things that lead to the rest of her career on the track. So super excited to hear that, but I can't put her on the list. Patron, same thing. One of our best trainers, can fly. But she was also in modified training. Can't put her on the list. So you can see that the list is difficult to make. Now, if those 10 horses were in training, then this list would be much more difficult to make. As it was, I had 17 extras aside from those 10 to make my top 10 list out of. So aside from everything else, good, bad, or otherwise, got a hell of a group of horses for this year. I just told you my initial list was 17 for my top 10. We had to take 10 of them off for the reasons I just stated. There's 27 horses right there that could have made the top 10 list. 27. Again, none of this matters because we still have to figure out who we're racing against. What do Aki's horses look like? What do Ron Burke's horses look like? Nifty Norman, Tony Alani, Linda Toscana. We could go on and on and on and on and on. We have to race against all these horses. But we're going to start with ours. I'm not going to dwell on things we don't know and we can't change. I'm going to focus on what we have in front of us. So, my top 10 list as is. Now, I got to train everybody this week in the race bike. James and I went in Ontario. Really happy with what I saw. Really happy with what I saw this weekend. Number 10 for me, Century Legion. The hype is fair. Colt was good. Trained him today in... this was pouring rain. My favorite time. Pouring rain. 2:05.3 last half and 58.4, 59 last quarter in 29 seconds, and he looked very good. Chicago Hall beat me at the wire. But as I said to the guys after, now Dominic said he made a break on him last week. I know exactly what happened. I got a good look at his mechanics today, touching up on his jack a little bit. Trotters often do this. Would we take the flip-flops off? Yes. There's no need to rush to that right now. I told him what we probably could do is put a little longer shoe on him behind. He might touch a knee as he gets closer to the races, but I don't want to go ahead and put knee boots on him. Just tape his knees up. And I had a great conversation with Harry and Danny about this after, and I know that neither of them are very fond of knee tape. Old horsemen, right? And it isn't that this is a newer technology. Just my personal preference when we're talking about horses. I explained my stance on this earlier when I talked about the trainers today, and I don't want to take up our top 10 list doing that. But knee tape, we'll leave the flip-flops for now. Put the hobbles on him. The reason the hobbles are important is he will brush himself, and when he does, he gets a little anxious, right? And that anxiety can be thwarted somewhat by the hobbles. That steadiness is there. Little set of training wheels, so to speak. And I think, like I said, we could train him in 2-1. That doesn't mean he's not going to make a break in a stake race. You can always take the hobbles off, but I believe as we get closer and ask for more quicker quarters and faster transitions in the mile, I think the hobbles will suit and will help Century Legion. So very happy with this colt today. He looked very good. This was a tough one. I had about 5 horses knocking on the door to be number 10, to make this list, and a couple of horses I think extremely high up. In fact, one or two of them maybe could have gone on there ahead of Century Legion, but fresh in my mind, I just went with him. For him to go out and train like that in the rain, in the mud, was impressive. Century Legion is my number 10. My number 9, Green Glitter. You're right. I do like Green Glitter, and I'm going to put her on the list. I felt she trained better in 2.6 than she did in 2.3. I don't think it was a speed thing. I think a lot went into that. We're getting to a point now where 2 trips a week is very important. If you think you're going to go out and train your 2-year-old 1 trip a week, I don't believe you're going to get enough work into the horse to be competitive. That's my 2 cents, and that's where we're going. And I believe that Green Glitter trained decent the other day, but made a break on Joey in a very slow mile. I don't think she got the full benefit of a work. It was not Joey's fault. She made a break on me scoring down. I had let her hobbles out. I told you last time, 2.6, last half in like 59. Hobbles rode long, no problem whatsoever. A little bit of a problem yesterday. I had to pull them in a couple of holes, and once I did, she was fine. 2.3 last half in like 59. I was very, very impressed with Green Glitter. And I'll do them in tandem because they were both number 9 and number 8, Grand Slam Dio and Green Glitter. And either one of them could have been number 9 and number 8. They both trained very similar, very good, very happy with both these fillies, and they are now both ready to rock. Now, how much? Where's the well? How deep's the well? I have no idea. We'll find out all together. We'll all find out together this summer how deep the well is on Green Glitter and Grand Slam Dio. But I was very, very happy with what I saw on Friday. So that was 9 and 8. Number 7, we have some pacers on the list. I am shocked how many good pacers we have this year. These aren't the only ones. We have some pretty effective looking pacers. I'm not going to say how many are on the list, but I am going to tell you that number 7 is Rose Run Alexandra. Touched her knee 3 weeks ago and it blew up a little bit. We cleaned it out. Still irritating her a little bit. We put knee boots and tape on her yesterday. She was good. I won a mile in... I forget what I won a mile. 2.1? 2.2? She was really strong, though. Really, really strong. I think this filly has been and will make her way near the top of the list, so to speak. A virtual list, a theoretical list throughout the summer. But Rose Run Alexandra is a filly that has been a mainstay and a steady Eddie all the way through. Just top to bottom, just a really smart, really, really nice filly. I love this filly. It was tough to put her down at 7, but you'll see why. Number 6, I just let Foxy Seaside coast up ahead of her. And Foxy Seaside is another filly, the Down by the Seaside filly, that I like a lot also. I think she's a filly that can go very, very, very fast. Another filly that will touch a knee once in a while. So for Jill and Jim, they've asked me to go with Foxy Seaside a few times. I did go with her the other day. And I can tell you those breaks that she made in the winter, probably getting a little close to her knee, a little trepidation, rolled off stride. We got knee boots on her now, and she trained great the other day. I'm going to put her in the race bike on Tuesday. And I don't want to go too fast with her. There's no need to go super fast with her, but I do want to take a little peek under the hood. I've seen it already how fast she is. She's a really nice filly. To be fair, I guess she should have been 7 and Rose Run Alexandra number 6, but that's neither here nor there. Neither one of them. I don't know if either one of them want any part of Gorgeous Package right now, and she's number 5. She has been tremendous over the last month. She trained so good on Friday. It was, well, for me to talk about the 2 fillies I just talked about and talk about Gorgeous Package in front of them is to show you what I think of Gorgeous Package. She doesn't wear any boots. She wears a Murphy blind on the left, a nice size hobble for her body, just a beautiful filly. My only concern is she's a little small. Not a big deal. Lots of good horses are small, and she has got one gigantic engine in that little body. I can tell you that right now. Number 5, Gorgeous Package. 4 pacers on this list. 4 out of our top 10 are pacers. 4 of them. And all 4 of them reside in the state of Ohio. I mean by jurisdiction. Number 4 is Rose Run AJ. The talk all winter was how good this colt was, but how are we going to tighten those screws that are loose in his head? Right? He's making noise. He's getting out of gear. We tried a number of different things with him, and we put a dog chain on him. Now, usually a dog chain for a driver, if you're a driver and I say, hey, he wears a dog chain, but he's okay, you're like, oh, man, come on. Dog chains are for runaways. and ignorant horses. This guy with the dog chain on, very, very polite. Very polite. I trained him the other day, coming half in like 58 seconds. Never spoke to him. And I didn't have to. He was just perfect. It was like I just said to him going on the track, all right, AJ, we're going to go a mile in 2 minutes apiece, 2-1, come half 58, come 28 apiece, all right? You got it? All right. Knocks. And he went out, zoom, 2 minutes. 2-1, 2 minutes in a piece. 28, 58, looked amazing. I never so much as moved in the bike. The horse was great. Not grabby, not hot, just perfect. He is a very fast colt. Maybe there's a lot, not maybe, there will be a lot of fast colts waiting for him in the stake races, but I am really impressed with what I've seen from this particular colt. Now, those are the pacers. There's no other pacers on the list. We're up to our top three. Our top three. One of the top three has been one of our best horses and has been probably our one of our best horses for a while, and probably our best horse. But I didn't put him at number one. I'm not gonna say anymore. Number 3, Aunt Lily, and she could have been number 1. How do I make this list? So I took all the names that I thought were in the top 10, took the 10 away, then I had 17 left. Took a look at the top 17 and said, okay, who's going to make the most waves? Either it be wins or money or wow everybody or just look good. The total package. Everything. Put it all together, break it down into one number, and what number is that? And Aunt Lily, for the longest time as I was thinking about this, was my number 1. I trained that filly the other day, and I don't know if there was a horse trained as good as her. Now, I told you about Green Glitter and Grand Slam Dio. I love both those fillies. I think they're very fast. 2-3 like last half in a minute. Aunt Lily went 2-3 and 1 last half in 58 seconds flat, and there was plenty more where that came from. She was very, very, very strong and felt solid like an aged horse. And she's as big as a tractor. To get around that track, half-mile track, that fast, that quick, that strong, that easy, at that speed, it's a good horse. Aunt Lily is number 3. Now, the reason she's at number 3 is because both 1 and 2 are paid into a lot more major stake races. Aunt Lily's Ohio. She is Ohio, top to bottom, straight through to the fall. The next 2 horses are paid into quite a bit more. Now, I put Memento Mori at number 2. Hear me out. For Mr. Stein, a lot of people messaged me over the last 2 weeks and Anthony, I don't hear a lot about Memento Mori. He's supposed to be a good horse and what happened to him and blah, blah, blah. I hear, this time of year, I always hear people saying, I think my horse is better than you're projecting, or this horse doesn't get enough respect, and I get that. But to be fair to everybody watching this, I sit behind them, not you. So it's hard for me to take some of the horses off the list. And we'll talk about the ones that were just off, just to the periphery, just off to the side, just in the corner of my eye when it came to the top 10 list. I'm going to list them all for you. But number 2, Memento Mori, I picked him at number 2 because I truly believe he could make the most waves. Nice colt, moves quick, paid into Kentucky and New York, paid into everything, top to bottom, fully staked. It just goes fast and is smarter now. He's learned so much over the last 5 months. When I think of the little mongrel that we broke, that we had to castrate at Christmas because he didn't want to do anything right and he was just rude, and to think that he turned into this horse, well, that's impressive. That's impressive. Because he looked great. He looked great training the last little while. I'm going to train him on Tuesday, and I can tell you right now, he's going to look great on Tuesday. Just a very, very good horse. And a lot of people pressing me, well, he's a smaller horse. Shouldn't we just go to New York? We could, but we're not going to. I think we're going to Kentucky with Memento Mori. Because he's that good. So far. Now we go to qualify him in 59. He seems a little soft. All right, fine. I guess we can have a discussion then. Because I know he'll get around any size track. But I do think he's best off going to Oak Grove first. That's my take. So number 2 is Memento Mori. And I know all of you are trying to figure out who is number 1. Who could it possibly be? Did any of you guess Chicago Hall? I'm going to tell you why. Now, you might have, because I've told you that James is touting this horse. He even hit the brakes and it rattles and annoys me. James has been touting this horse since he went with him last week. He went with him again today with Century Legion. Again, fully staked everything. Also dual eligible Ontario and Kentucky. He's probably going to stay right in Ontario. He's got a sweet gait. And the thing I was watching was, we put the hobbles on him, and flip-flops on him, and I was watching him in the winter. He'd get on the line running into the turns, get on the line running out in the straightaways. That's usually their stifles are a little bit sore, their knees are getting a little bit sore. So I wanted to watch him. I watched him very closely, almost as much as I was watching my own horse, Century Legion, in that regard. I was going with him. I was just kind of peering over at him and watching him. Down the lane, he just trotted past me. He got by me late because Century Legion got a little bit out of gear. So I lost him. I almost lost him halfway down the lane. He stayed at it. He trotted hard right through the wire. But Century Legion, I looked over, and as I'm giving Century Legion his head and he's coming forward, and we're starting to motor, I look over and James is just sitting there on Century Legion, almost like a 3-year-old training with a 2-year-old. And that's not to take anything away from Century Legion. He is going to be a very nice colt. But it just felt to me and looked to me like Chicago Hall was out for a stroll in the park. We were coming half in 59 seconds in the pouring rain. In the mud. No problem there. Horse looked amazing. Amazing. And as much as I like Memento Mori, they're both paid into 2 jurisdictions. They're both staked to everything. They're both well-bred. Mori's a little well-bred than him, but still, they're both well-bred. Chicago Hall's a bigger, stronger horse. And he is. He's got an exceptionally perfect gait. Memento Mori is like a pit bull and can move quick. But remember, I told you this list was going to be based on everything. And when I look at everything, Memento Mori's just got a couple more 9 out of 10s, where Chicago Hall has 10 out of 10s. I think Chicago Hall is our number 1 horse so far for the summer. The horse looks amazing on the track, and I just can't. And to wow James, like James is grounded. He doesn't like to. James knows that I'm super optimistic when it comes to our horses, so he never ever will say, geez, I really, really like this horse, because that will stick with me, right? James has nothing but flattering things to say about Chicago Hall. Just effortless, strong, durable, smart, all the things you want in a horse, and he has them all. And that's why he's number 1. Memento Mori has it all also. Just not as big and not as strong. And that's the only reason he's number 2 and Chicago Hall is number 1. And for us to have either of them makes me feel very lucky. And then you just look behind them. Aunt Lily, horse I trained the other day, beast. Absolute beast. The next 4 horses are Pacers. Pacers. All of them in Ohio. AJ, Alexandra, Gorgeous Package, and Foxy Seaside all look very good. Then you have our girls, Grand Slam Dio and Green Glitter, and Century Legion rounded out the list. Now, I did tell you I was going to tell you who didn't make it. It bothered me that I couldn't put Westland Warrior on there. See, I think he was 2 the last time I did a top 10 list. I just haven't trained him fast yet. He'll train faster. Now I trained him in 2.6 coming half a minute, so of course I went fast. And I'm not going in like 2.1 or 2.2. He's going to qualify 5 days after Tuesday's mile. Probably going to go right back in 2.4, 2.5, 2.6 with Westland Warrior on Tuesday. Love the horse. The Priest, Rosetta. The Priest looked great. Trained great for Jason the other day. I'll go back Tuesday again with him. Rosetta looked great. I'll go back Tuesday again with her. I Don't Play Nice. Maybe by 1/5 of a second, the fastest trainer we've had in the trot side so far. May have been. Looked great the other day. Freedom Hill. Love this filly. Somebody else said to me, what happened to Freedom Hill? She just disappeared. She didn't disappear. I told everybody, as push comes to shove, Cream's going to rise to the top. And Freedom Hill is solidly in second right now on the filly side. I just told you how good Aunt Lily was. Freedom Hill is an easy second right now, and everybody else is chasing those 2. Bothered me as I talk about her. Bothered me I couldn't put her on the list. Jimboree. I told everybody that Jim Breed might be the best horse we have. Trained great the other day. 2.3, 2.4. She was awesome. That's how hard it was to make this list up. Very, very excited. That's the word. Excited about 2024. And this isn't the excited at Christmas. This isn't the excited after a good day training on a winter day in February. This is excited 8 days before they're going to qualify for the 2-year-old races. Very, very interested to see what's going to take place. Now, in regards to our open house, I got to double check with Ronnie. I'm not positive Ronnie Wren is coming. Says he might, says he will. I don't want to put him in a bad spot. You don't want to be there, don't come. And that's not me upset at all. That's just being fair. He's a family also. Races all the time. Scott Zeron will be there. Chris Limbs will be there. Hunter Myers will be there. I will be there. Now, Jason Merriman will be there also. He's gone with Rose Run AJ the majority of his life. And he will go with him next weekend also. I know that Mark or somebody might say, can Scotty go with him? I know Scotty already went with him and loved him. But Jason knows the horse good right now, too. So who will the 6th driver be? Because we have, we have 5 sets of 6, 4 sets of 6, and 1 set of 5. 29 horses. Now, these are just our sets. There are going to be other horses qualifying that day. I know Nick Clagg's got a whole barnyard full of horses also. And there'll be other people that have to open it up to everybody. So we'll see how things play out. But if a ton of people enter, I would ask, hopefully, that the track would just put our horses into their own horses. Not that I just don't want to see any mishaps. And if there's a mishap in our schoolers, be caused by us, not someone else. Or our qualifiers, that is. So really excited about it. I don't know what the RSVP count is, but we really, really are up against the wall here. I'm certain we're going to go over 100. And when we do, I have to let the track know. So if you're out there and you say, I might go, I think I'll go, make sure you let Kelly know. Make sure you RSVP, because that is the official list. So with that, I'm going to let you go. That is my top 10 list. Can't get any closer to the qualifiers than that. I won't be bringing you a list next week. We'll be doing all our work on Sunday. So that is when you're going to get your videos from Sunday. Actually, I might do the racehorses and 3-year-olds and stuff on Saturday, but the opening of the 2-year-olds obviously will be done on Sunday. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you guys had having a wonderful weekend. It feels like Saturday today. I'm on my way back to Ohio right now. I don't race tonight. I'll be honest, I just didn't want to race Foxy Seaside Foxy Seaside. I'm fancy like at the 8-hole in the 14th race. I knew I was going to be a little bit tired, and I knew that Aaron Merriman was available, perfectly fine fit, and I think Fancy will be just fine. So I'm going to try and relax for some of the night. Tomorrow, really eager to watch Arson in Time is on my side race, and then Monday, and then tomorrow, obviously, for those of you that are Ohio residents, Bo Brown, son of Brian Brown, is getting married to Tisha Symes tomorrow. Amy and I and the kids are going to the wedding. Monday, we have Gypsy Hill and Irresistible Sun racing in Southern Ohio. So lots going on this week. So with that, I'll let you go. Take care. I will talk to you all very, very soon.